A major American scandal, an alliance between organized crime and the Teamsters Union, the nation's largest and most powerful labor organization. That's the language being used to describe a tough new federal lawsuit filed today in an effort to reclaim the Teamsters from the mob. As NBC's Mike Jensen reports now, this is a showdown between a tough prosecutor and a tough union.
In response,
the government suit was announced by U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani.
Organized crime has deprived union members of their rights through a pattern of racketeering that includes 20 murders, including at least 14 murders of dissidents, a number of shootings, bombings, beatings, a campaign of fear, bribes, extortion and theft, and misuse of union funds.
The suit names as defendants 26 alleged Mafia members, among them the nation's top organized crime bosses: Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, Anthony Tony Ducks Corallo, and Carmine Jr. Persico. Also named as defendants, the 18 highest officials of the Teamsters.
All 18 board members have committed mail fraud, that 7 members have committed acts of racketeering that include embezzlement, receipt of illegal labor and benefit fund payoffs, and bribery, and that 12 board members have aided and abetted wire fraud in connection with the Mafia scheme to ensure the elections of the last 2 Teamster presidents.
Teamster officials who flew into Montreal this week on union jets for their annual summer meeting denied any wrongdoing.
History will record that the complaint against the International Brotherhood of Teamsters marks the lowest point to which the Republican administration has yet fallen in the attack on working men and women of America.
But Ken Paff, who is a leader of the union's reform movement, welcomed the government's action.
What we want is very simple: a government supervised free election.
At a news conference in Washington, Attorney General Meese was asked about Teamster support of Ronald Reagan in the last 2 elections.
Had this evidence or had this information been available at the time, that President Reagan or then Governor Reagan would obviously not have accepted that kind of support.
Teamster President Jackie Presser, who supported President Reagan, is under indictment for racketeering and embezzlement. He has cancer and has given up day-to-day control of the Teamsters. Presser was defended today by Senator Orrin Hatch.
I have to say this, that Mr. Presser, regardless of what anybody else may think of him, has lived up to every promise that he made to me when I was chairman of the Labor and Human Resources Committee.
The AFL-CIO, which kicked the Teamsters out in the 1950s and recently took them back, blasted the suit.
The only level of corruption that I know about is what I read in the newspapers when they talk about the fact that the Teamsters are dominated by the underworld. Those are allegations. There's no proof in that.
At truck stops, Teamsters who supported their leaders stepped in front of the camera.
Because I got 4 more years and I can retire, and I'm satisfied the way things are as far as I'm concerned.
But most Teamsters who approved of the government suit did not want to be quoted. The government says it has no intention of keeping control of the Teamsters, that it wants to kick out organized crime, then have free and fair elections of new Teamster officers. Mike Jensen, NBC News, New York.